Hello, good day to everybody. Thank you, Sergey, for inviting me to speak. In this very short presentation, I would like to talk with you today about the big issue, the big question of philosophical practice. As you know, philosophical practice is a field or an international movement that believes that philosophy can be relevant to the life of the person in the street, of the ordinary people, that it can make life deeper, more meaningful, richer. And this is then a practical field. And because of this, it is very easy to get lost in the technical details, in methods and techniques and exercises, and to forget about the big picture, the big issue. The big issue of philosophical practice is, of course, the issue of how can philosophy, which is such an intellectual discourse, how can it possibly be relevant to the person in the street? How can it contribute to the life of an individual who is not a philosopher? Now, when we answer this question, it is important not to be influenced, not to mimic, not to copy from other disciplines, like from psychology or psychological counseling or education or similar field. And it is also important not to be stuck in the past, not to be stuck in the existing ways of doing philosophical practice, because we want to ask the question anew. So it's important to ask the question in order to be open to new directions and new developments. Now, in order to ask this question and to answer this question of how philosophy can help life, let us not start with building big theories and fantastic structures. Let us simply look at our own experience, at our concrete experience. And I think that all of us philosophers, all of us who are interested in philosophy, who maybe studied a few classes in philosophy, or who read some philosophy books, or are simply interested in asking philosophical questions, all of us had those special moments when some philosophical idea touched us and inspired us. And it made us look at ourselves, at other people and the world and life in a different way. It's like opened a new horizon. Of course, not all philosophical encounters are like that. There are probably many boring moments. We read a philosophical book and it's not very interesting. And there are moments where we just have an intellectual interest. But there are those special moments that we are touched, that our eyes open, that we see something new. And these are interesting because these express the unique power of philosophy to touch us. Philosophy is about basic life issues. And at these moments, we encounter the basic issues of life. So I suggest that these issues, then these kind of moments, these special precious experiences, are the starting point for any interesting philosophical practice. A simple example of a moment that touches us it's a very extreme example and it's quite simple, is when we read some philosophical texts about the meaning of life. And suddenly it strikes us, hey, what about the meaning of my life? Am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my life? Do I live a real life? And this may bring us back to ourselves and make us change our life, or at least rethink about our lives in a deep way. Of course, not every philosophical moment is so powerful and extreme, but there are those special moments, quite rare, where a philosophical text or a philosophical idea touches us and it awakens within us a new way of thinking, a new way of relating to life, to ourselves, to others. So let us make this the starting point. This is the unique power of philosophy. This is the power to awaken us to the very foundation of life. Now, in fact, in the past several years, I've been experimenting with various kinds of activities that would go in that direction. And let me mention only one of them, and this is what I call the philosophical companionship. The philosophical companionship is a group of people who contemplate together on a philosophical text or philosophical idea, and with various exercises they manage to think together about the text and resonate with the text from deeper inside themselves, not just from here, but deeper inside. And very often, the participants in such a group feel that they encounter basic life issues in a powerful way, in a new powerful way, and that they can relate to life and to philosophy about life from a different place within them, from a deeper place. Now, of course, the philosophical companionship is not the only way to do so. There may be other ways to use this special power of philosophy to touch us and to advance it in different kinds of activities. And these other kinds of activities, other kinds of exercises, may be waiting for us, so to speak. They're waiting for us to discover them. So I would like to encourage all of you who are interested in philosophical practice, to explore, to use your imagination, your creativity, and explore new ways of making philosophy, of doing philosophy, not just doing in the ordinary way that people have been doing for 20 or 30 years, not doing something similar to psychology, like a sort of counseling that is half philosophical and half counseling, but really to explore new ways in which the unique power of philosophy can express itself and can touch people and can change our lives in a significant way. And if any of you does those experiments, and find new ways, new exercises, new frameworks, then I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear. Write me an email. I would love to hear about your new discoveries of how to make philosophy touch us in a deep way and open our minds, open our hearts to new ways of understanding our lives, to new way of living, to really transforming ourselves. Thank you.